in the first week that we ran ads, I think we spent like $1,000 or something, and I made like 25 grand. And I was like, okay, this is how ads work.
The GenTech podcast discussing business, investing, and marketing.
Hey guys, welcome back to GenTech Podcast, where we interview top business owners and bring you valuable and inspirational discussion. This week we have Jack Woodburn. You can also call him Ecom Woody. He owns Digital Cashflow and Rocket Dropship, two really big companies in this amazing e-commerce industry that's coming up. He'll tell you a little bit more about them. He's going to give us some advice on funnels and ads and why social media is so important, and advice to aspiring business owners. So, Jack, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you, Naja.
Of course. So we'll just hop right in. Where are you originally from?
Yeah, so I grew up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. That's where I grew up. Raised by a middle class family. My mom was a teacher. My dad was, or still is, a logistics manager for like a rail car company. So like pretty normal childhood. And then I went to Penn State. That was sort of my first step into everything. I regret it a little bit because of all the debt and everything like that. But I learned a lot of valuable skills that propelled me into the future. So,
what did you go for school for?
Yeah, so originally I was undecided. Had no clue what I really wanted to do. I tried to get into the business school up at Penn State and actually like failed one of the classes that I needed to get in. So it sort of like put me in this path, like, okay, what do I do next? And some of my buddies were talking about IST, which is information science technology, basically computer programming. And after I failed out of the business school, I transitioned into that. And then I started taking those classes and I fell in love with it. And I'm so glad I made that transition. And we, did a lot of things inside of that sort of IST school. Like, we built apps, we built websites, we learned how to code, a lot of that basic stuff that, actually I use to this day. But, the one thing that they didn't teach you is like, what do you do business wise as far as like making money or utilizing the skill or, all these other things that like you have to learn as an entrepreneur, you don't learn in school.
Definitely. And you really realize that. I'm going now to get my master's in business administration. And, in this past 1 year, I've learned so much more than, in the past 4, because they're actually giving that real entrepreneurship experience that you really don't get in your undergrad.
I know. It's because they don't want you to know, they don't want you to know about taxes, about credit, about, actually running a real business. And I've technically only been a full-time entrepreneur for the past year. Coming out of college, I guess I'll move on to the next part of the story. I actually went down to Miami. I had an opportunity to move down to Miami with some of my friends. It was just really crazy because we got like a place on Miami Beach for super cheap. And then I was instantly surrounded by like all the wealth, the cars, the watches, the clubbing, which got a little bit too involved with that to start. But I sort of got around all these people and I was working like, a shitty 9-to-5 job, to be honest with you. I was processing loans for a mortgage company because that's all I could get coming out of school because the pandemic hit right there at the end of 2020. So I was making like barely $2,000 a month, living on Miami Beach, surrounded by all this stuff. And then at the same time, seeing everyone online, the Shopify stores, the Amazon stores, all the people flexing online. And I'm like, why can't I do this? And that's sort of like where my whole journey began about a year ago.
So how did you go into, the e-commerce and Amazon? Did you always have an interest in that, or?
Yeah, so I guess backpedaling a little bit, when I was in school, I started up like my own clothing brand. It was called like 777. That's always been my number.
Mhm.
It's supposed to be this like angel versus demons, like, sort of like twist on the Juice Roll 999. And I would like throw parties and sell hoodies and all this stuff. And I had a Shopify store. I only ended up doing like $1,200 in sales, like total, but that's sort of where I first started with ecom and kind of understanding all this stuff. And then that sort of died out when I was, down in Miami because clothing brands are just like anyone that has a clothing brand or is looking to start one at least, I would recommend not doing it. It's just like it's really hard and like so it's so oversaturated. Like everyone has a clothing brand. You know what I mean? It's one thing if you just sell some merch for your company or something, but running like a real brand, like, it takes a long time and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears.
I would
But
even say like your 777 though, like that's everywhere now with the angel numbers on the clothing. So I feel like you were kind of ahead of that trend. Like now that's huge.
I know it could have been huge if kept working on it. It's just like I don't like selling physical products because there's so much like overhead and fulfillment and customization and branding and all this stuff. Like I'd rather sell an online like course or coaching
Mhm.
because there's no overhead. I'm not like sending out products to people, this, that, and the other. But I was sort of on trend with that, and like it's still a piece of me, but it's not going to be like profitable in the end. So sort of moved on from that. But I like I said, I was seeing everyone post all the screenshots online, like drop shipping, Amazon, this, that, and the other. I'm like, why can't I do this? So I basically bought a course from someone to start. And that's like the first step that I took. And then I really started understanding the business. The first week I did like 4K in sales, and I was like, holy shit, like this is a real thing. And then I continued to just do it throughout like all of 2020 into 2021.
What were you selling exactly?
So literally anything. So anything that had profit that I could sell on Amazon and source from a different supplier, I was selling. I even told Mel when I was down in Tampa because I noticed, those like gas heaters that like restaurants or gas fire pits, whatever. That's when it really clicked for me because throughout the pandemic, all the businesses and restaurants needed those
Mhm.
for all the outdoor seating. So I actually found like a set of two on Wayfair for 600 and they were selling on Amazon for like 2 grand or something.
Wow.
And I was selling like a lot of these. Like I made so much money. Like what is that? 2 grand yeah, it was like $1,400 profit every time I sold, one of those units on my Amazon store. And that's when I really like took off with the Amazon and was able to scale it. Like, because COVID, everyone was ordering stuff off of Amazon. So I really took advantage of that and sort of found these products that were super profitable, like high ticket. And that's where I like really, started making money.
So how are you finding these like really hot and wanted products?
Yeah,
Like
it's a
how
good question. Yeah, I mean, I look at it two ways. The first way is just like what season you're in. Like if it's winter, you should sell heaters. If it's summer, you should sell, coolers and umbrellas and whatever. And that's sort of where I start, and that's where I tell all my students to start. And then we also have like softwares that we use that actually measure the products, best sellers rank, which shows you how much it's selling every month. So like, okay, this has like 100,000 BSR. It's probably going to sell a lot of units. So there's like softwares that we use, and then also sort of like, common sense of like where the seasons are at and like what's sort of going on.
so how does this e-commerce journey then lead to your company Rocket Dropship?
Yes, really good question. So I was able to actually scale like my own Amazon store after I got that initial course to like over 6 figures in sales. And I really started to learn on my own sort of the ins and outs of the business and how to scale it. And then I started seeing all these Stripe payouts, which are like the holy grail of like the whole online space. Like if you see a big Stripe payout, they're like running some sort of like, coaching program or course or service like GenTech, right?
Mhm.
And that's when like, you know, it's virtually all profit. Um, so I started seeing that and started following like different creators, and then I actually went ahead and invested again into like a $5,000 program that actually taught me how to build an online program, which was one of the best decisions that I've ever made. And just a quick side note, anyone listening, like you need to invest into like the people or the things that they're doing if you want to do it. Like if you want to sell on Amazon, you need to invest in my program. If you want to learn how to build a coaching program, you need to invest in my mentors program, right? Like you have to invest to get the knowledge. Like you can watch YouTube all you want, but it's not going to get you the exact steps and strategies used to get you to where you want to be. So long story short, I invested into this 5K program. I was in it for like 6 months. I learned a lot about building funnels, systems, automations, building out a course, like hosting it on a platform. And I built my whole course out and everything, my website, this, that, and the other. And I started actually like promoting it online and started growing my following. And then people were signing up for the program. Like to start, it was like $500, and I would like post it on my Snapchat story. And like one of my buddies from college would hit me up about it and he would join. Right. And then it was like, people from my hometown and, this and that. And, I started making money from it. Like I think the first, few months that I ran it, I made like 17 grand from just selling the course, Um, and that was cool and it really opened my eyes to like, this whole digital space even more.
Can you explain for our listeners what is a sales funnel?
Yes. So simply put, basically it looks just like a funnel, like your average cone, like upside down cone, I guess. And, at the top of the funnel is like where you're running ads or posting on Instagram and all that. Like you're promoting your service, your product, whatever, to like a large audience. And they're unaware of you or the solution that you have, right? And then you want to trickle them down into the funnel, right? So along the way, you need to, be capturing data from them, like getting their email, getting their number, right? Showing them a free training or a free example of the course, giving them like free stuff. Then they start going more and more down the funnel and become more aware of you, your brand, your product, your service. And then at the bottom of the funnel, is where you actually try to close that prospect or that lead, whether that's a sales call or if you just have like a mini course or something. So yeah, it's basically setting up a system where you're sort of like drawing people into this funnel and giving them stuff along the way and putting them through systems. And then by the end is, the cool part where you can actually onboard them into your system or your program and collect money from them.
So that's why sales funnels are very important in business because of the leads it will generate you.
Exactly. As far as the leads, like you need the ads to actually get your name out there. Um, but most importantly too is sort of on the back end. Like if the ads are up here, the whole funnel in the back end needs to be performing well too, because you can spend like a ton of money on ads, but if you don't have the back end set up, you're not going to get anywhere. So I think it's like a beautiful 50-50 blend. You need to have the ads and you need to have the funnel. And then ultimately you need to be able to fulfill whatever you're selling.
So you said that you were taking classes and that made you want to be a mentor for others. How does that like benefit you or what's that feeling like being that mentor for so many people that are taking your courses?
Yeah, I mean, it's a cool feeling. what I tell people too is like, okay, you can spend 200,000 to go to college or something, right? And they teach you nothing about any of this stuff that we've talked about so far. Or you can sign up for a program for 1,000, 2K or something, which is literally 1/100th of the price or whatever it is. I don't know. But and actually teach people how to make money. And that's the coolest part. Is actually like teaching people like this works. Like everything you see isn't actually a scam, to be honest with you. Like a lot of it is real. And if you invest in the right mentor or person, like they can teach you, actually how to make money. And I love doing that. And one of my first ever students, he signed up to my program, back when it was super cheap and it was like the last of his money. He had $50 left to his name and he was able to take that $50 and go through the program and turn it into like over 70,000 in like 4 months. And he was one of my biggest like, student success stories, and then I actually hired him and he works for me.
That's crazy. I love that story. That's
Yeah, I know it's a good story. It's
So I wanted to ask, how do you stand out from your competitors that also offer these courses online?
Yeah. I mean, I get this question a lot. The truth is there's a lot of like people that either sell on Amazon or have a coaching program around it. Um, how I differentiate myself is just try to give like the best level of support for the right price. Um, so what we do is we have the whole online course with all the videos that I've filmed for it. And then the second thing you get is like access to my private Discord group. And then myself, my coaches are in there like answering questions 24/7 and giving you that like, you know, really, really attentive support. And then the third thing is like 2 live coaching calls every week. So we wrap that all up inside Rocket Dropship. Like you're going to get those 3 big things in order to succeed. And a lot of people have like one or the other, and like ours is sort of a hybrid, right? So there's a lot of $500,000 courses out there for drop shipping, but they don't have a group chat, they don't have coaching calls. Then there's like $5,000 programs, and it's like they might have the course in the group chat and like a lot of coaching calls, right? Where we're sort of in the middle, we let the students work on their own, but we also add in like that support with the calls, with the group chat. So, I mean, that's how I differentiate myself. And I've been doing it for 2 years too. So,
Yeah, you definitely have the best value at the best price. And that's what I think most people are looking for. You have something that's so expensive and you don't want to do the cheap one either. I feel like you're perfectly in the middle where you can have a lot of value at the price that your consumers are going to pay. I want to
100%.
pivot to your new business venture. So you just started, or you're starting a new company called Digital Cash Flow. Can you explain what that company is?
Yeah, I'm super excited about this. I actually got hats and I don't even have one right now. I wish I had it on because it'd be like digital cash flow. Um, Basically, the idea behind this company is to be just like an umbrella company to a lot of different services to teach people or help people make money online. Um, things that we're going to offer is obviously the Amazon program, which I've been running for a year. We just implemented Amazon automation too. So our team will actually take over your Amazon store or start it from scratch and actually run it 24/7. So it's completely hands free. That's another service that we're adding. And then we're also going to have a new sort of beginner level mentorship where you'll get access to me. And I'm going to have sort of a mini course that teaches like the basics of business that no one wants to teach, like how to set up an LLC and an S Corp, how to set up a business debit account, how to set up QuickBooks, how to link them all together, right? How to set up a Stripe, how to set up a coaching program or sell a service, set up a funnel, right? And actually how to close people on the back end and fulfill. So I'm going to have sort of this like intro to online business mentorship as the base level. And then the fourth thing that we're going to sell um, is sort of this upper echelon package for like elite level business owners where we're going to come in, me and my team, and build everything out start to finish, like head to toe, you know, build out the entire sales funnel, set up all the emails, all the SMS, connect the CRM, like build everything out, actually attach GenTech onto the front of it and blast ads, as well as having like coaching calls and all that good stuff. So that's going to be sort of like my upper echelon, like high ticket package. And yeah, those are going to be sort of like the four things that we're going to start selling under this umbrella. And it's just going to be teaching people like how to make digital cash flow, whether that's Amazon or selling some other online business.
Well, I'm super excited for you, or I can say us. This is a perfect time to ask, why did you choose to partner with GenTech Marketing?
Yeah, no, it's a good question. I've sort of been down their whole funnel and their whole system. You know, back when I started, I guess backpedaling, back when I started like the coaching program and started posting online and trying to grow my following, I came across GenTech because I was living in Miami and I somehow found them. I don't know how, honestly. And it's a crazy story, but I was visiting some of my girlfriends over in Naples, and I knew that this was like my only chance to drive up to Tampa and meet with them. And I like brought a suit and everything. And like, you know, I'm 22 years old, whatever. And I drive my car up to Tampa at like 7 in the morning. It takes like 2 hours. And I get to the office and I'm like so nervous. And Amel and Christian walk out, you know, I shake their hand, like, nice to meet you, like all this stuff. And I just told them like everything that was on my mind, like I am right now. And they saw the vision, right? But you know, they told me later on that like a lot of people come to them like that and don't actually like do anything. So, you know, we met them and they didn't like pitch me or anything like right off the start, you know. They just wanted to meet me and, you know, started following them, got their numbers, this, that, and the other. And then nothing happened for like 3 or 6 months, I want to say. Um, and then I got to the point where I was ready to actually run ads because all of my organic reach was sort of dried up. And I knew I had to run ads to like drive more leads into the coaching business. And that's when I hit them back up. I'm like, let's do it. They onboarded me and then I became a client. Um, in the first week that we ran ads, I think we spent like $1,000 or something, and I made like 25 grand. And I was like, okay, this is how ads work. And then, you know, I sort of put the whole thing together as like all of the online business stuff. It's like, okay, that was like the one piece I was missing. And honestly, they're just really good dudes. I mean, you know, Christian's young like me, so we're kind of on that same level mentally. And they've been nothing but the best. Just the way that they communicate with all their clients, like they kind of work around whatever way they want to communicate with people. And I love that. Like if you want to text Christian, you can text them. If you want to email them, you can email them. If you want to get on a Google Meet, you know, if you want to Discord message him, like he doesn't care. And that's what's cool about them. So they're super casual, but get the work done, you know. And I was with them for, I want to say like 3 months. And yeah, then, I mean, I don't know if you want to talk about this, but I had like a massive failure this year.
Yeah, I would actually love to talk about that. I think, people can learn a lot about hearing failures and especially how you overcame it. So I would love to hear about that.
Yeah. So also back when all this was happening, I got into the NFT space. And I know this is like still sort of a topic to this day, but I was in on like the ground level and actually put together like a massive deal for sort of me and my dev team that I met. And we actually helped to launch one of the biggest projects back in November. It was called Spooky Boys Country Club. our team got paid out like a massive amount of money, and I was like, holy shit, like this is crazy. And that's also when like all these other good things were happening. Like I started running ads at GenTech, started making a lot of money on the course. Like I was just like bringing in a lot of money, and I was only 9 months into my entrepreneurial career. And after all that happened, I decided at the start of 2022 that I was going to launch my own NFT project. And let me tell you, don't try to launch an NFT project. Like, do not, unless you have like $250,000 that you are willing to, use to run the project and to sell it out and you're confident in it, then I would say do it. But if you don't have that, or if you can't afford to lose like $250,000, don't even try to launch an NFT project. And I did. I tried to launch it. I took like all the money that I made over the whole course of me starting, and I put it all into this project. Like I literally put all my chips in, and it completely failed. I got scammed out of like thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars by like marketing companies that wasn't GenTech. It was someone that specialized in NFT marketing. They scammed me. I was an idiot and sent a kid like 20 grand in Ethereum in like Bulgaria. Who knows if he lives there? He
Yeah.
was supposed to do Discord DMs for me, like 10 million of them, never did them. Like I paid my artist 10 grand, I paid this kid 2 grand, I paid here. And then by the end of it, like we had no funds left. We couldn't launch the project. And yeah, I basically had to go all the way back to square one. And, for everyone out there, like, it's not all wins. Um, you can have like 100 wins, but then one loss can take it all away. And that's sort of what happened to me. But, I was sort of like in a bad place in my life, a few months ago when this happened. And I just like got back on the horse. Like, I kept doing everything that I was doing before that was making me money. And now, like, I'm here. I've made a lot of the money back that I lost, even in the past like couple months working with GenTech, formed like a partnership with them. And I'm about to launch like, this new company and this new offer. And, I feel like I'm just getting started. So that's sort of like a story for everyone out there that, might be going through something in their life or might have a big fail. Like you just got to keep pushing through and get back on the horse and keep trying. You know what I mean?
And thank you for sharing that with us. I think it is crazy to see, these setbacks sometimes can be huge, but how you react and come back from it will be, even greater than how you initially started. You know how to be successful. You already did it with Rocket Dropship. And I think this new company has like so much potential. So I think you obviously will learn a lot from that lesson and, be really careful. No
Yeah.
more NFTs for you, but
No more NFTs.
yeah,
Oh, God.
it was a lesson though.
It's tough too because, during sort of that time, it was like a gold rush. Like everyone and their mother was trying to launch an NFT, and a lot of people became millionaires from it. Like I was just chasing like that quick gratification when in reality, everything that I was doing for the past year that was like making me consistent cash flow online, I should have just kept doing that. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? But I tried to go for that like $1 million like in 1 month. Like we're gonna launch a project, sell it out, and make $1 million. Like, and it sucks, but I know I'll still get there. It's just sort of that curve of delayed gratification that really humbled me. You know what I mean?
How do you
Um,
think that situation you can like sum that up into a lesson?
I don't know. I guess just is there like a term for that? Like don't chase the golden egg or something? I don't know. Um, but even Amel like, told me one time, he's like, bro, that's why we don't try to do other things. Like GenTech is a marketing company. They do marketing. They're not gonna try to like sell Shopify stores or try to sell on Amazon or stuff, because like they know what to do and they know what brings them cash and fulfillment for their customers and their clients. And like they're not going to move away from that to try to go and grab something that, everyone's jumping on, whether it's crypto or NFTs or this, that, and the other. Like they're just going to stay in their lane. And that's what I should have done. So I guess that's a lesson.
Yeah, a good word for that is like core competency. Like, GenTech's really focus on marketing and we don't stray from that. And your thing is e-commerce. And we're called Ecom Woody. We can transition to that. So when did you start calling yourself Ecom Woody? It's really stuck. And how do you continue to grow that personal brand?
Yeah, so my last name is Woodburn. And like growing up, everyone called me Woody. That's sort of like my nickname, like from Toy Story. So all my buddies in college and like even my dad's friends and everyone, like they all call us Woody. So that's sort of where that started. And then, all these like ecom guys on Instagram and everything always put ecom in front of their name or whatever. So I did it one day and now I have like 55,000 followers or something. And I guess like I'm Ecom Woody. Um, and yeah, I mean, I think the nickname sticks. So I think the nickname Woody will always be there.
I think so too. So you said that you use GenTech for your Facebook ads. Can you talk a little bit about why you think business owners should be using Facebook ads and why they're so important?
Yeah, and I think not only Facebook ads, but just ads in general, whether that's on TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook. Um, it's just so important because everyone thinks that like you need to go viral organically or you need to post like 100 times a day and 100 stories and this, that, and the other. It's like all you got to do is run ads. Like you obviously have to pay for them, which, is the hard part for people. But like, when you put $1 in, you're going to get 5 back or, whatever it is. Right. So it's just having that trust to like work with GenTech and actually have a budget to spend on ads. And then everything's going to work out. If you can overcome like those first two things, like getting onboarded and paying an agency and then spending money on ads, if you can get over those two things, you're going to be making money as long as you have a good product or service on the back end. And there's just no other way to like, reach your audience or to make these sales or to get them in the funnel unless you're running ads. Like there's just no other way unless you go viral every single day, which is like impossible.
And for your business, what resources or social media would you say, really has helped you promote yourself and your business along the way?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's Instagram. I feel like that's sort of like the holy grail of like your online resume. And that's what I've been really trying to grow as much as I can. Um, because there's just all sort of that social proof and credibility there once you start, gaining a following and you're running ads and if you get verified or this, that, and the other. So I think Instagram is like the holy grail, but TikTok is like huge. Like started posting on there a little bit ago, and I'm working on it. I really think that TikTok is a great way to start, even if you aren't running ads, because there's a way higher chance of you going viral on TikTok than Instagram right now. So if you don't have the budget to run ads to sell a product or a service, like I would start with TikTok and just grind at that, film cool videos, follow the trends. And yeah, I need to do that too. I need to get back on TikTok.
Mm-hmm. No, I think TikTok definitely has so much potential for small businesses. Seeing that almost anyone can go viral. Obviously, it's not as easy as it seems, but
Yeah.
there's such a large audience there. So I do think TikTok is the next big thing or already the big thing.
Yeah, I think it is. And then they just came out with like, an ads platform where you can run ads on TikTok, I think not even like 6 months ago or something, right? So now like all these guys are utilizing TikTok ads, and I know that GenTech is now too. And Christian is really trying to understand and learn more about the TikTok ads platform. And I think too, for sort of this next business that I'm going to run, I'm going to start utilizing like more and more of TikTok because it's so fresh and new, and it's like a new ad platform. So I think there's a lot of potential there.
And what are your plans for the future? I know you have your new business, but what else are your goals for the future?
Well, I mean, I want to take care of my family. Like they grew up middle class, and like I feel like I'm that one person, like that black sheep out of my family that like said like screw this, like I'm leaving my 9 to 5 job, like I'm running my own online business, like I'm gonna have like followers online, I'm gonna do this, that, and the other. So I want to sort of, give back to them and sort of prove everyone wrong, like internally, you know what I mean? Be like, this does work, and it has worked for me, but like into the long term, um, and just take care of them, my family. And, one sort of thing that I really want that is materialistic is a car. Like I'm into supercars a lot. And I know that the boys have a nice little collection right now. So that's sort of like a personal goal of mine, just because I truly love cars and love driving them. And I'm sort of like a gearhead. It's not like for any flex or anything, but it's just like I truly love driving these, fast cars. So hopefully by the end of this year, I told Christian and Amel that I think I can get a Lambo by the end of 2022. So maybe for Christmas.
I love that goal. So, I think we're about done with the podcast, but I do want to ask what the biggest takeaway that you hope our listeners learn from this.
Yeah, the biggest takeaway is one, don't be afraid to get started. You really just have to take that leap, even if it's like quitting your job to do the thing that you want to do, because you can make money doing anything, but you have to make money doing the thing you like in order to be fulfilled. So just taking that first step, not being afraid to change. And then number two, if you do fail at that sort of venture, then there's always something on the other side. You always push forward and fight through it, and you know you'll make it through anything. So I guess those are two sort of takeaways that I have.
I love that. So I'm just gonna try to recap and summarize everything we talked about for our listeners. So again, this is Jack Woodburn. You could call him Econ Woody. He talked a lot about the importance of e-commerce in business and the importance of funnel development, social media ads, and how you have to invest in yourself to have that increase in sales and revenue and branding in your company. He talks a lot about his personal brand of Ecom Woody and how that's helped him grow in his social media. Also, the importance of Instagram and TikTok for him and his sales. He says to invest in classes and invest in a mentor and how that will really help. And then you could be a mentor on others. And just the importance of online business and taking that first step and always pushing forward. Do you want to ask, where can our listeners find you?
Yeah, if you want to follow me on Instagram at ecomwoody, shoot me a message. I'm always in my sort of DM inbox. So if you see this and you want to message me, I'd appreciate it.
And you can find us at GenTech Marketing on all social media platforms. Thank you so much for listening. And Jack, thank you again.